Hello TL Travelers and welcome back to the TL Travel YouTube channel. If you are new here, right now we are recapping 6 months in South America, and in our last video we were in the Bolivian Amazon rainforest. Amazing time. If you missed that, definitely hop back after this, check that one out. But today we're in Peru, my friend. I am sure that no one watching this video is a stranger to Machu Picchu and all of its beauty. It's pretty much on every single bucket list that I've ever seen, and for a good reason. So today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about how we did our Machu Picchu trip while we were in Peru, how you can go about setting up your own, and yeah. I think that's about it. So if you love travel tips and tricks and story times and fails and all of that fun stuff, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. We have tons of information for you in this series now, but tons of adventures coming your way as well. So yeah, definitely stick around and join the fam. And with all of that said, let's just start chatting Peru, shall we? So really quickly, to get from La Paz to Cusco, which is where we start our Machu Picchu tour, we did go by bus. We hopped on a Peru hop, which if you are traveling through Peru or have been before, you're probably familiar with Peru hop. I will leave some links down below, but we came across the border with Peru hop on a Lake Titicaca, Copacabana type tour, travel day combo. It was definitely the way to go. I'd highly recommend it. I'm not going to get into too much of the details because there wasn't really a lot that happened, but beautiful scenery, all that fun stuff. Definitely recommend it. Link it below. That's how we got to Cusco. And Cusco in Peru is where you will begin your Machu Picchu journey, whether you choose to trek the Inca Trail or one of the other trails that's available, or if you choose to go in by train. Now, originally, Derek and I had both really wanted to do the Inca Trail. That was on our bucket list, to hike into Machu Picchu instead of taking the train. However, the longer that we spent putting together our 6 months and trying to figure out our route, the more that we realized we really couldn't guarantee what dates we would for sure be in Cusco. We just couldn't guarantee it because it was so deep into our trip at this point. So we decided that we would take the train anyways. And the reason that these numbers matter is because if you're gonna do the Inca Trail, you do have to book it quite a distance in advance, sometimes up to a year in advance if you want very specific dates, because there is a limit to how many people can be on the trail at one time. That limit is, I believe, still at this point 500 people a day. But when I say 500 people a day, I'm also talking that's basically 200 or so tourists, and the rest of those people are tour guides and porters, etc., etc. So you really want to keep that in mind when you are planning. This is a super popular route. It sells out really quickly. So yeah, get ahead of it if that's what you want to do. If you're not super set on the Inca Trail specifically, there are some other trails. Sulcantai is another one that's really great with beautiful scenery that you can enjoy. It's a little bit more rustic, a little bit more adventurous than the Inca Trail, I would say, but also totally worth it. Or if you are not big into the hiking or you don't have time to do a multi-day trek in, then the train is the way to go. So again, that's what we chose to do. Now, not only did we need to pick up our train tickets in Cusco, but we also had to pick up our entry tickets for Machu Picchu in Cusco as well. Now, at this point in time, it's no longer 2014. You can also book your entry tickets online, but if you are doing that, you want to make sure that you are doing that before you renew your passport or with your current passport number, because your passport is essentially the second half of your ticket into Machu Picchu. If you don't have it, you don't get in. So before you even make your journey to Machu Picchu, you want to make sure that you have your entry ticket and that you also have a passport, an updated passport with the numbers matching. Very important. Now you can do this as kind of a day tour where you just take the train in, visit Machu Picchu, get on the train back and head home. We didn't want to do it that way because we did want to be at Machu Picchu bright and early in the morning, and I will tell you why. So what we did was we booked a train ticket into Aguas Calientes and stayed in a guest house there. I will leave some accommodation options down below, a budget option, and then also a nicer, more luxurious option that we love, so that you guys can check both of those out if you're heading that way. But the reason why we chose to spend a night there before heading to Machu Picchu in the morning was because the very first bus from the city center up to Machu Picchu actually gets you into Machu Picchu before the hikers get in the morning. And the benefit to that is that you get to be in there while it's virtually empty. You can walk around, there's not too many people, it's not overcrowded. And then what we chose to do was, after we had done a little bit of walking around and it wasn't too empty, as we noticed the hikers coming in to Sun Gate, which is sort of like that epic view that you see the hikers come in, they look down on Machu Picchu and then they climb down to it essentially. We did our wandering around down below and then we hiked backwards up to Sun Gate and got our photos up there after all the hikers had come, seen their view and gone down. Does that make sense? So a little hack, especially if you are like big into photography and things like that, you're trying to get some photos without too many people in them. That's like the timing that worked out perfectly for us. And I would highly recommend that. And another thing that you do need to take into account when you are planning your trip to Machu Picchu is that you do need some time, a few days in Cusco beforehand, especially if you're hiking, to acclimate to the elevation, because that is a problem. Again, especially if you are hiking, the air is a little thinner up there. You do get winded quite a bit more quickly. So taking those few days in Cusco before you visit the ruins is gonna make your time at the ruins so much more enjoyable. But that's gonna be it for me for today and my little chit chat about visiting Machu Picchu. Whether you wanna hike it or head in by train, it's 100% totally worth it to make it a stop, a bucket list stop on your South America adventure. If you've been before and you have some information that you wanna leave or some favorites or just wanna chit chat, be sure to leave it in the comments down below. If you're interested in what else you should be adding to your Peru bucket list, be sure to stick around for our next episode where I am going to give you guys my top Peru destinations. Until I see you then, stay great, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.